What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Code Peterson tutorial. I got a message the other day asking for a request for a Python program. And it has been a while since I've done this, and not in the classroom anymore. I still teach adjunct classes, but not teaching high school now. And so this has been like the longest spell where I have not really Python programmed in a while. And so it was cool that someone saw some of the other videos that are on this channel and asked, is there a way where you could show us a good way to make a password generator? Now, this is like a common activity or exercise that you do in beginning programming classes. And you can do it a few different ways. So I'm just going to kind of show you one of the methods that I use. Um, you Some people may use lists for this early on, like if you make a list of letters and a list of numbers and a list of characters, and then you randomly generate items from those lists to create a password. That's one way you can do it. I'm going to show you kind of another way that this could be done too. So it's pretty simple. This would be something that I think you would probably come across maybe in a beginning Python class, and it's kind of fun to try all these different ways out. You might have 10 different people in your class of doing this, or 20 different people in your class, and you might get 20 different ways to generate a password, and then through that, through the process of computer science, you could see, well, this one used this many lines, this one had this many characters, this one, the program was this much smaller than the other programs created. So you could see who did it the most efficient, which one runs into the least amount of problems, and it's kind of a fun competition that you can do with that in your class. But here we go. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to go import random. Anytime we're importing something in Python, Python has these built-in libraries or built-in modules that you can use. And these are just things that are programs essentially that are included when you install Python. And random gives you access to some things in the library that let you randomly generate items. The other one we want to use is import string. So where I mentioned before, sometimes people use lists to include this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take the time to make a list that has all the letters in upper and lowercase and all that. So I thought, we'll do import string because these two combined, they will allow us to randomly generate items from a string from different characters and things like that. Okay, now we're going to define a function. So I'm going to go def, and then I'm going to call this one generate underscore password. And then in parentheses here, I'm going to go length is equal to 12. You could use, we're just defining this length right here because we want it defined inside of this statement. So when we refer to that later, there's a number in here to begin. Okay, then I'm going to put in a colon and I'll press return, and it's automatically using PyCharm. I'm using PyCharm. You may be using a different text editor. But when I press return in PyCharm here, it automatically tabs it over for me, so I don't have to worry about it. You know that Python is kind of picky about spacing and all those things. Then we can go characters is equal to string dot ASCII underscore letters. And as soon as I typed that on here, you'll notice up here, this was gray, and now it shows up as normal text up here. It's that blue and black text. And that is because we made reference to it in our code here. So we're saying character Z is equal to something from our ASCII letters in a string. And then after that, I'm going to go plus, and then I'm going to go string dot digits plus string dot punctuation. Okay, then I can press return again on here, and I'm going to go password is equal to, and I'm going to put a single quote up here. And it looks like I have two of them there because when I put one on there, PyCharm automatically closes it for me. So I want a single quote and another single quote right by each other. And then I'll go dot join. And then in these parentheses, I will go random dot choice. And then I will go parentheses. And I'm going to go characters. And you'll see here, because we did random dot choice, this is choosing random things from our characters. And because we made reference to random up here, now this is also highlighted up top. So join random dot choice characters. And then after the characters, parentheses, but before that second one on there, then I'm going to go for underscore in range, parentheses, length. Once that is there, making sure my parentheses are good. So I have this one opened here and I have it closed there. Now I can press return and then I will go return password. So this is going to be the process of how we would basically randomly generate items from these strings up here. And I'll press return. And then down here, this is outside of the defined function. I'm going to go password underscore length is equal to, and then I'm going to go int integer input. So you're asking the user to type in a whole number here, an integer. And then I'm going to put in quotation marks like, how many characters does your password need to be? Different programs and different accounts require different length passwords. And then underneath that, I'm going to go print, and then I'm going to go password with a colon. And then after that quotation mark there, those quotation marks, I'm going to put a comma, and then I will go generate underscore password. So basically going through this process, but in these parentheses, I'm going to go password underscore length, which in here is whatever number that they decide to put in there when they're asked. Okay, Control S and save that. And let's give this thing a try and see how it works. Go up here and run this program. And it's asking me, how many characters does your password need to be? So let's start off and let's say 8. I press return. And here's my password, bracket 9y question mark, capital G, Z, underscore. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters that it generated. 15, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 15. And we have a pretty solid little program here, about 8 lines of code in counting these 2 import strings, not counting that space there. But there you have it, a cool little program that can generate passwords. And then you can also obviously maybe you want there to be a minimum amount of requirements. So you could always add a while statement, say like while password length is greater than 4, because let's say you want an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a character. So you could say something like while password is greater than or less than 4, then it's going to generate it. Else, you could say something like, you don't have enough characters in here. It needs to be at least 4. There's a number of different ways you can play around with that. But I hope that helps you out a little bit for this activity and points you into the right direction and gives you something to play with. Let me know if it was helpful or if you're looking for something else in the comments. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch, and we will catch you on another video down the road.